Today's episode of Wine Time Fridays is brought to you in part by our friends at CDA Gourmet and Revora.
It's been a long week, right? Are you ready to wind down? Why not? It's time for the Wine Time Fridays podcast with Shelley and Phil. Neither are sommeliers, but both have a deep passion for life, each other, and of course, delicious wine. And now, here to talk about this week over a glass of wine is Shelley and Phil. It's wine time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Wine Time Fridays with Shelley and Phil and more guests. Episode 309, Friday, March 20th. Zipping right along. Shelley, happy Friday. It's wine time. Oh, the big one. Okay, I like it. Today we have with us Denny Russell from Mansion Creek Cellars. Am I right? It's Mansion Creek Cellars, right?
It is.
I never remember the right winery, vineyard, cellars. Anyway, Denny, welcome to Wine Time Fridays. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my privilege. Thanks for having me on. Really looking forward to this conversation.
Well, and that's what it is a conversation, but it's really hard, we found, to have good conversation with empty wine glasses in front of us.
Is
So
it that hard?
I think
That's
so.
not good.
Well, is it more of a challenge? Hey, I've got this down as the Tempranillo first, and then the Triline red blend. What should we do? The order?
We should do the Triline first.
Perfect. And we will do exactly that. We are featuring two wines from Mansion Creek. Shelley, have we ever heard of Mansion Creek Cellars before?
Yes, we have.
Well, before a month and a half ago?
Oh, maybe not. Oh, I mean, we featured Chardonnay.
We did. I did a search when the Seahawks were really starting to gain steam. Yes. And I wanted to find there got to be like Gonzaga. There's a winery in town or in the state of Washington that has a Gonzaga labeled wine. It's pretty good. I forget who does it, to be honest. But I'm like, there has to be something Seahawks oriented. And I found this is the beauty of the Google. Chardonnay. Even though that was a winery coined nickname, it wasn't anything formal, but I loved it. I reached out. This is exactly what happened. Mansion Creek. Hi. Who am I speaking with? This is Denny. Hi, Denny. I said, this is Phil with Wine Time Fridays. I'm the producer and co-host. Who is your winemaker? I am. And so I'm like, this is great. And that conversation sparked him sending us these two that we're going to try today in a formal feature to go along with that Chardonnay that we had just before the Super Bowl, which the Seahawks won 29-13.
Yes.
Patriots. I just opened a non-vintage Triline red blend from Mansion Creek Cellars. $58 at the winery. And we are going to do a proper Wine Time Fridays toast. And now we're going to start getting into the story of the winery and this wine, specifically this one. To health, wealth, and abundance, gratitude, romance.
Peace on earth and sunshine.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ching ching.
Ching, ching, ching. Columbia Valley, 79 Syrah, 16 Touriga Nacional, a grape that's really gaining momentum. 5% Cab Sauv.
Yeah.
Start a Friday.
It is a great way to start a Friday. Why do you say it that way?
It's really good.
It is. At the time of the recording, we've got 8 inches of snow in the middle of March here in Coeur d'Alene. Seattle did get some, but Denny, you said about a half inch, and it was super
Yeah.
wet.
Yeah. Unexpected, but As we know here in the PNW, you never know when you're going to get snow.
No, we were not expecting
Oh.
this at all. We
Well,
thought maybe like this much.
so little known secret, we had never heard of your winery. You, I believe, would be called and considered a boutique winery. Yes.
100%.
There's a roll of the dice, Shelley, when we're bringing on wines and like that Chardonnay. I was like, please be good, right? And it was good. And I'm like, okay, because he sent us a couple more. We should actually feature him. But there is that uncertainty. I'm super glad that we did this because this is really good. This is fantastic. Non-vintage. Well, let's talk about the story of this tri-line red blend.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just a little bit about the name, Tri-Line. So, it's actually a rugby term. I've been privileged, fortunate enough my whole life to play rugby. Uh, I'm now long in the tooth, so now I just play what's referred to as old boys, and we play about once a year just to remind ourselves why we don't play
You
anymore.
don't play anymore. And by the
So,
way, rugby's
play-
a real sport. Right?
yeah,
That's a real sport. It's not like baseball or golf or even soccer. No, this is rugby, man. You've got seemingly all your teeth and stuff, so that's good.
yeah, no, absolutely. Played. I also refereed rugby. Still continue to referee, so still involved with the sport. Just wonderful camaraderie. But the name, the try line, instead of a goal line, like you have in football. So remember, football takes everything from rugby. So that's the try line that we decided to name there.
Yeah.
And then you pointed out it's a non-vintage, right? There's no year on it. What happened? Why is this a non-vintage? So we were making wine, and we have a previous blend called Ramblas Red, where we would bring in Tintacao. We blend it with Touriga, maybe sometimes some Suzal, some Cab. But something went wrong with our Tintacao, and we had to toss it.
Mm,
No.
that's so.
It was
That's just
devastating.
in the story, and I didn't have any, flesh and skin in the game. When you're got the money in, that really hurts. I know.
It hurts, especially as a small producer. But guess what? This is that if you can't roll with the punches, this probably isn't the game for you. So we had this barrel, and we were like, what do we do with it? It's beautiful juice. I love Touriga. It's probably Touriga and Tintacao. When we go to the barrel room, is probably one of the first wines that I like to go to. It's uh, its bouquet is just unlike anything else. For me, it's very floral, kind of like violets on it. Uh, it's a wonderful dance partner. It's nothing I would make 100% of, just my philosophy, but it's a great thing. Same thing along with Tintacao. So we were like, okay, what would this play with? And it took us a while, and that's why the 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 Touriga is from 2021. The Syrah is from 2022, and the Cab is from 2021. So that's why it's a non-vintage there.
You're making this tri line every year, correct?
I uh I will be making this again next year. Part of the complexity of being a small producer is being able to get the Touriga, the Tintacao, the Suzal, Graciano. It is not easy. So I'm constantly looking to partner with those vineyards really that are really good at farming because you need great grapes to make great wine. You know, you can take great grapes and make bad wine, but you can never take bad grapes and make great wine, right?
Second week in a row, we've had this conversation. Really.
Yeah. So, um, and I understand these producers, if it's easier for them to sell, all their grapes to one manufacturer, one winery. That's easier instead of splitting it out 10 different times. But it's all about relationships, and I've slowly grown with these relationships to do. We did do the tri-line. I will be making tri-line again in 2027 because people have really enjoyed. So this wasn't a blend I thought I was going to do again, and it is something that people have really, really enjoyed. They like the uniqueness of it. It just has a profile. I like it. It brings in a lot of dark fruit, blue fruit. I kind of get huckleberries. Other people get blueberries. I think I get huckleberries because I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and those are when you're a kid, you went out into the forest, and you'd be out all day, and that's what you would eat. So
Little known fact, uh, don't plan on going to a nursery and getting a 1 gallon
No.
huckleberry plant. It
You're
ain't
not
gonna
gonna
grow. You're gonna have to go out in the wild, which is kind of cool.
with some bear spray.
With some bear spray, yeah, right. Everything here in North Idaho is huckleberry, but that's a really interesting profile, and I know why people like it because it's stinking good.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just unique. I'm always somebody that I even in my tasting room or when I describe my wines, I always say this is what I get out of it. My expectation is not that's what you're going to get out of it. We're all different, and I want you to experience it. And you can tell me what you're smelling, what you're tasting, and that's just the conversation. It's just like when we go out to dinner. Do we all order the same food? Nope.
So,
Right?
Yeah.
And there's a reason.
it's nice that you verbalize giving permission and I think it's changing and evolving these days, where the snootiness, there's still some wineries that don't want to let everybody into the club. And you know what?
Like Jordan.
Go on. Is that right? So now we badmouth Jordan and Yellowtail.
Well, I mean, completely different kinds of wine.
Yeah, that's right. But to verbalize that to people who many are already intimidated coming into the tasting room, right? And so you kind of give them a little outline, possibly, maybe not. It's kind of like the people say, I will not drink Chardonnay, anything but Chardonnay. And so someone pours, say, what do you think of this? It's like, now, see, I like this. What is it? Well, it's Chardonnay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's Chardonnay.
It's Chardonnay,
completely-
Chardonnay. It's Chardonnay. So, it's just people need to feel like their opinion matters. And with each of those steps, it becomes easier and easier, right? So,
Yeah, no, 100%. It's just like your point about Chardonnay. I just, with our Chardonnay, I just go, is it you don't like Chardonnay or you don't like Chardonnay made in this style? Because there are different styles. Like our Chardonnay, 40% was fermented and aged in concrete. So that starts to change things up. It brightens it, nice mouthfeel to it, maybe, and we don't over oak, and it's the buttery components. We didn't want a Napa Chardonnay. There's a time and place, and there's a consumer that loves it. But my wife always says, Denny, if this doesn't succeed, you're going to have to drink the rest. So I better make a wine that I'm going to enjoy.
yeah, yeah.
So you were talking about getting grapes. How do you go about establishing those relationships
Yeah,
with the
great
people?
question.
Yeah, no, it's an excellent question. I think it's kind of like life. It's about kind of who you know and introductions. I'm a big believer in always saying please and thank you. When you go around, making sure that you keep to your word. That to me is very nice. And I've been fortunate enough to be around a lot of people in the wine industry, especially in Walla Walla. That's where my parents live, and this who started Mansion Creek Cellars there, and I got to get to know those relationships. And from there, I branched out, and it's just I talk to people. I'm like, what do you know about this vineyard? Who's making grapes here? Do you know these people? and then looking at going by the vineyard, are they, how are they taking care of the vineyard? You can really tell just by driving by. What are they just growing grapes just to grow grapes, or they're growing quality grapes?
What are some of the indications that would show that someone's maybe not tending to their vineyards as they might want to? I'm curious.
Um, yeah, for me, it's like uh, you can see the crop load on it. So are they, are they just trying to get as many grapes out of per acre? So, which is fine, but that means
Different wine, yeah.
it's a totally different wine. Is when you're going, are they letting it kind of go wild? What is the canopy looking like? Are they, uh, what is the earth around? What else is around there? And so you just kind of see that. And I do want to kind of touch on a note that Phil. Oh, hey, who's that?
Lucy.
This is Lucy Lou.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. When you called, I was the winemaker. I'm actually the vintner. I actually work with Ali Mayfield out of Walla Walla to make my wine.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see that that's on my website and everything. It's just a lot of times people, when they call, are you the winemaker? It's just easier for me to say yes. I'm more the vintner. Uh, and the joke around my house is I probably talk to Ali more than I talk to my wife.
Well,
And she is the bee's knees. She is one of the best winemakers, as far as I'm concerned, in Washington. Her passion, her desire, uh, her ethos around wine kind of matches mine. And I think that's why we work so well together in terms of what is the end product. So this is, we work together. And luckily, I was even when I had the winery, I was a molecular microbiologist. So I have a science background behind this. And, wine is 50% art, 50% science. So the science part, yes, but, I understand and we just work together. So I want to make sure that anybody listening to this, Allie Mayfield, Allie Mayfield, Allie Mayfield. She
I wrote her name
deserves.
several times.
Yeah, no, 100%. Uh, she's one of those people in Washington that everybody that's in the business knows, and they know that what quality of wine she makes.
well, I mean, clearly she knows what she's doing. This is fantastic. What this is such a fun surprise for me to stumble onto your um, little winery. So, is this something that you kind of want to grow and scale a little bit?
Let's learn how to walk before we run. So, and we've been doing this since 20. I took over. So my parents started this in '07, but they were negotiants.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
So they were just buying the juice, and my mom was really, really good at blending, and she knows everybody in Walla Walla. So if you were to ask somebody from Walla Walla in the wine business, do they know Mama Julia? Yeah. So she's 4'11", tons of energy. She takes over a room. We have a joke around the house that if people go, I don't know if you met my mom, then we're like, you haven't met her because you won't forget. Yeah.
If you have to ask the question,
Yeah.
you haven't.
Exactly. And I always wanted to do wine for years and years, and I was going to do it with a friend, and things kind of didn't work out. And then I just went down the science field, and that's what I was doing. But I always had my hand in it. When mom was putting together blends, I would help with that. And just being in Walla Walla before it really exploded was nice because you kind of knew all the winemakers or the owners or anybody working in the industry. Because I remember when there was only 15 wineries in Walla Walla, right?
There's 860 some wineries now in the state of Washington, give or take. Is that right? That's a lot.
There's a lot. There are.
you know?
There are.
You have a question.
No, I was just gonna say in 2005, when we went to the North Idaho Enological thing, I think there was 15. That's what I remember, but that's
Oh, in Walla
2005.
Walla?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe less. So.
yeah, Walla Walla is obviously off the charts. And many of and now there's new AVAs. The Rocky Reach AVA is the one that comes off the top of my head, but there's so many different AVAs. Red Mountain, this little dot on the map on the state of Washington, coming up with phenomenal fruit. It's just so fun, and we're in an industry, Denny, that if you were able to drink every wine produced in the state of Washington, let's keep it small. First of all, you probably wouldn't be alive. But second of all, if you were able to do that, the next year there's a whole new vintage. And so, it's all different. And so that's a beautiful thing about the wine industry is you shouldn't get tired of these wines because there's always new wines, new vintages every year.
Yeah, no, and each vintage, even from the same vineyard, there's always going to be something that's a little different about it. I mean, you can get at that 85% same, but that 15%, was it hot? Was it a cool spring? When's bud break, flowering, everything else? What's our summer looking like? So, and really our fall, because we like to hold our grapes out longer than other people. Uh, yeah, sugars still build up, but we look for that phenolic ripeness, and walk the rows and taste our grapes, because numbers tell you one thing, physically being there and tasting that is another. And that's something that Allie's really instilled into me. It's like, okay, Danny, we got these numbers, but that only gives you that half story. We need to do the rest of the story.
What would you pair this with? I mean, seems like some of the obvious things, and then other. What's that?
I just said Syrah dominant.
Yeah, I mean, what would be a really fun pairing with this?
Let's see. I would say something, believe it or not, gyros, shawarma, burgers.
It's got euros. Why would you eat coins and money? Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I love euros. That lamb in there, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I try to think about and I won't say that I'm a chef. I can cook, but when it comes to pairing, I'm always like this. But I go to a lot of wineries and they're like, oh, you know what go well is a filet mignon. It's like, how often do you think I'm eating filet mignon? Does that, why don't we try to pair it with things that we eat on, a daily, weekly basis or monthly at least? And this is a good reason to pull this bottle out.
That's good, because we've been eating a lot of shawarma spice stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Why would I think?
I don't know.
I mean,
So
certainly.
I was going to ask, in this bottle, which of these grapes ripens the first?
The Syrah.
Okay. And that would be like in September?
End of September. Yeah, usually right that 28th, 29th. So the Syrah that's from the Tri Line here came from Boucher Vineyards in the Yakima Valley.
Oh.
So, and we also have a new Syrah that's out. When I'm using my Syrah, that's coming from Red Heaven Vineyards on Red Mountain. Totally different outcome in terms of the Syrah.
There's different elevation between. Isn't Red Mountain higher?
You're going to quiz me on this.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but for me, it's like elevation's important. What's really important to me is the soil type as well. Yeah. And Red Mountain is just known for its intensity in terms of the grapes. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you're having. And the Syrah that I would get from Boucher Vineyards, Just absolutely beautiful, elegant. I find that Red Mountain is that traditional, what you think of a really
In
good
the face.
Washington Syrah. Yeah, it's got that earthiness though, and it's got that huge structure to it that you can, it's something you need to tame, but if you can tame it, it's a beautiful thing.
This is so fun. This is just so, I don't know what your nightly ritual is. We'll be watching TV and it'll be 8:30 and we're done with wine for the night. And then someone walks into the room on TV with a glass of wine and I'm like, you want just a little bit more? And that's what this conversation is making me feel like. And I'm like, but I have wine in front of me, but it's just pretty fun. I love that. We should take a break, and when we come back, we will go on to wine number 2. Oh, I before we go, because I'll forget, the try line in rugby is a line where you can kick the rugby ball through the goalpost, right?
Incorrect. But
Okay.
good. You're right, Dane. You're right on the right vein. It's where the posts are. But so try line is kind of an informal, what we would call the end zone in football. In rugby, we call it end goal, but it's also where you have to put the ball down to make a try, and that's how we score in rugby. Is called a try. And so to cross that line is the try line.
Okay. This is not just wine, 301, it's rugby 101.
Yeah, I think if you read there's a little thing on the back label that you can read as well.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful.
You said you changed the label stuff.
We have.
Yeah.
So take a really good look at this label and that icon because it ain't going to be around for long. Denny, you want to stand up for those who are watching on YouTube and unveil your newest? Look at that new branding.
Nice. That's very cool.
Yeah.
You can use that for your icon too, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the new icon kind of represents who I am. So I'm going to stand up again and I'm going to ask you a question. What do you see when you see this?
Well, I see a bull.
Okay. Could you see a whale's tail? The fluke of a whale's tail?
Oh, yeah.
I can see Holland, America.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Notice how the lines also don't connect. So if you see, you're deciding what it is. So I was born in Spain, the bull, grew up in the Pacific Northwest, the whale's tail. But it also represents wine that we can all taste and smell different things and all be right at the same time. And the lines don't connect. That's us filling in the lines, and that's how we fill in the lines individually when we enjoy a glass of wine.
Exactly.
Business, I have never been one to put too much emphasis on. We're gonna have to take time.
Squirrel.
No, it's a dog. Fine. Go out and bark in the snow. I don't care. Go.
No. She'll
Okay.
probably be buried.
Okay. Have at it.
At least we didn't interrupt the logo.
So what I like to say is I don't really get too over worried about
Cross country skiing.
icons and logos because you look at the Nike swoosh, it's just a swoosh, right? And they've made a huge billion-dollar company out of it. And McDonald's, it's an M,
It's developed.
But
evolved.
when you look at this supersedes all of that because of the thought that went into it, and that it comes with a story, and it's really good. It's really good. So congratulations on I keep pointing to this bottle. It's not on this bottle. But yeah, this is fantastic. I'm sure that took a lot of renditions and changes and things like that to come up with that.
Yeah, I never want to go through that process again.
No.
Zero.
It's not for the weak. That's for sure.
It it was difficult, but anything worth your while is probably going to be challenging. And I worked with a gentleman out of South Carolina, Gary Finnan. Great gentleman. He was actually going to help me design my tasting room, and he was like, "So, what's Mansion Creek Cellars? I need to know that." And we were closed for a year and a half while our tasting room was shut down in Walla Walla before we found something new. And this was the perfect opportunity for us to rebrand the way that we would like. And I worked with him, and together we came up with this, but it took us a good 3.5 months, not solid, but of just different renditions about, and him, I want to say it was almost like a therapy session to get to this.
Well,
Um,
it makes you ask the questions of your business that all business owners need to ask, and because most entrepreneurs and business owners are kind of thrust into business, and they're just trying to keep all the balls in the air and plates spinning and all of that stuff, that you don't take the time that needs to be taken to do some of these, make these decisions. And I'm creating a shirt for the Seahawks win, a design, and you start questioning everything.
Mhm.
It's like, I like this, but maybe I should change this. And then, of course, you ask 5 people their opinions, and you'll get 10 different answers. So
yeah,
there's that too. At some point, you gotta make that decision. And the one that you made, I think, is fantastic, fantastic.
thank you.
Now we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we are going to go to the other wine. Welcome back to Wine Time Fridays with Shelly and Phil and Denny Russell from Mansion Creek Cellars. We've, during the break, talked all sorts about business and models, and you'll never be able to hear any of that unless you go visit the tasting room. And if Denny's there, he might share some of that with you. Who knows? We just had the Try line, non-vintage, which was, magical came to my mind.
Really?
It did.
And phenomenal.
Yes, here's the thing. When a word comes to your mind that you weren't even searching for and it just popped right in, magical, you go with it. You share that. And it was magical. I'm not going to lie, though. This one has been one that I've been eyeing in the cellar since it was sent.
Because you like Tempranillo.
I love Tempranillo. I love Washington Tempranillo. This is not just a Tempranillo. It's a reserve Tempranillo. It's also from Red Mountain, one of our favorite new regions. And this is basically I told you what it was, the 2021 Mansion Creek Cellars Reserve Tempranillo from Red Mountain. Oh, Denny, tell us about this wine, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So this comes from Red Heaven Vineyards on Red Mountain. We aged this 28 months in barrel. Probably about 80% new oak. Probably of that, 80% is French oak on that. We bottle it, then we lay it down in glass, depending on the vintage, up to 2 years until it's tasting appropriate. Uh, Something that somebody I really respect in the industry said about a great wine is, I said, "This is a great wine. You'll hear this. This is a great wine in 10 years." And he goes, "No." He goes, "A great wine is a wine that's great now and in 10 years." And
And
so,
it'll evolve differently. It'll be a different wine in 10 years, right?
yes, but still, so that's a lot of times I think we sometimes release wines a little too early. And that's what I much rather hold on to it for the consumer. So when they do get it, they're going to be pretty happy with it.
Uh, I often, rightly or wrongly, judge a wine that I'm about to taste and I can't do it on a podcast because we would be wasting a bunch of time, but if I just continue smelling it for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes without even taking a taste, this would be that wine. The nose on this is really rich. Oh, man. And that was right off the get-go. Hashtag cheersing.
Cheers. Ching ching.
I like that. We're going to have to adopt ching ching.
That's really good too. Has some tannin.
Oh,
Very good.
man, this is good.
This is they're both 14.9%
14.9.
alcohol, right?
Yes.
That's
You're going to quiz me. I have to look as well. Yes. The temp usually doesn't run that high. This vintage, usually we're at that 14.8, 14.6, but it just happened to be the vintage. That's just the way that it goes. And this, I know alcohol's important, but I'm like, are you tasting, to me, it's like, do you taste heat?
No,
So
that's the thing. You're not tasting the heat on this.
yeah. So when Allie and I go about making wines, what we always say is beautiful, balanced wines. Beautiful meaning is the berry being expressed. Instead of, I don't want this to be over oaked or for us necessarily over extracted, and then balance. It's like, if you have you can have a little bit higher alcohol, but if everything else is balanced, it is not, you're not feeling it on the back end or anywhere else, or even on the nose that it feels hot. And so we really try to focus on that and do as best of a job in accomplishing that mission.
That's what Luke of Mollydooker says, because their wines are
16.
16%.
15.5, 15.8, 16%. And that's that Luke Marquis. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's still high alcohol, so you have to keep that in mind. But is there really going to be a difference in 2 glasses of this at 14.9 versus 2 glasses at 13.5? Is it going to be that big a difference?
Yeah. I mean, if you can find me a Tempranillo in Washington that's at 13.5, I'd like to see it.
That's not gonna happen.
No. Yeah, Washington fruit runs hot. It's
And a lot of it's just our growing season. It's not as long, and so for the sugars develop there, but the phenolic ripeness isn't there. So a lot of times people, if you just pick on bricks and not on taste, I find that sometimes your wine can taste a bit green, just a bit sharp. But if you look for that phenolic ripeness, then you have to butt up against, wow, now my bricks level has gone up, and now I have to fight the alcohol. And I much rather fight the alcohol. I can't add flavor to a wine.
No. And this is probably being picked at somewhere around 24 bricks or something like that. 23 up higher. 25.
I think this was at, don't quote me, I want to say 26.5.
Yeah, those are pretty high numbers.
Those are.
But like you say, the bricks and the numbers and all of the readings that you're taking, as well as pinching that grape and tasting, right? They're all important. Look, if you want a balanced wine, you have to have balanced data as well to support when you make that decision. And like you said, if the bricks are high, but this is when you're talking about the phenolic ripeness, this is where we want to be, then that's what you do. You pull the trigger.
Yeah. And you just kind of deal with it, and that's the way that you go. It's it's fun. You're also sweating it during harvest. It's like when you pull, what's the weather? What's the weather in the next couple days? Is there any rain coming in? How long can we leave it out there? And so
they're gonna have unexpected snow. I saw something from Hard Row to Hoe down in Chelan. And I asked you to take a look at that. one of the deals on his story was hard road snow. Yeah. Look, this is our biggest snow, and this is obviously this year. This is our biggest snow.
Really? You guys haven't gotten more snow than this?
No. We've had 2 different snow times, and
This is the most snow.
yeah, I'm not even going to shovel because it's going to be gone tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna rain.
Yeah, so that's going to get really cold. Just so
anyway, you make some other really great and interesting white wines that we should talk about also.
Yeah, we, our inlets, which is our 100% Albarino. So we named it Inlets. So I was born in Spain, in Galicia, which is the northwest province, where Albarino actually derives from Rixas Baixas, which if you translate that, basically means inlets. And so that's why we named it from inlets. We sourced our fruit. We've sourced it from 2 different places. We originally was from Ancient Lakes, from Evergreen Vineyards, and then in 2021 and 2020, and then in 2024 we started using Natchez Heights Vineyard in the Natchez Heights AVA. Really enjoying that. It really showcases, for at least for me, what a very nice Albarino should be. It does have it just speaks of summer. It just speaks of summer. And so for us, it's those nice tropical notes, pineapple, guava, lemongrass. There's a little bit of minerality, and then it's that acidity on the back end, right? That makes it. I always tell when people come into my tasting room, our Albarino pairs well with 2 things: seafood. So think of mussels, oysters, clams. The other thing it pairs very well with is sunny days.
Sunny days.
Sunshine. Yeah.
Yeah, we love Kumamoto oysters with the Albarino.
Oh yeah.
And so you have an Iberian influence, which is the Iberian Peninsula, so Spain.
Yeah. And that's why you'll see, that's why we do. So our 2 flagship wines, Tempranillo. So if I don't get this right, my mom's going to shoot me. Spain.
Just remind her.
What do you want to say? I want a big.
Still against the law in this state.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Albarino. But we also, that's why we bring in some of our blends where we, like the Triline you just had. We're bringing in the Touriga Nacional. We're bringing in the Tintacal, the Graciano, to expose that to people in Washington, because I'm small. It's basically Washingtonians that are drinking this for the most part. But for them to understand, and for people to understand that wines, they don't all need to taste like Cabs and Syrahs and Merlots that everybody knows, that there are different qualities that come out. And, a lot of them aren't exposed to all of these other varietals. And since it's part of my heritage, I like bringing that into what we're producing and being able to do that. So that's why we say the Iberian, because that's why I like bringing in the Portuguese varietals as well.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's different. And people are looking for different these days as well.
Yes, I think they're looking for different. I always say at the end of the day, you need to make quality. Make quality first, and then go out. Just don't make. I mean, I can make something different, and it might not be what the consumer wants. And I've also found that out, that I can't. A lot of people go, well, this doesn't taste like a Spanish Tempranillo, and I go, it's not supposed to.
It's not Spanish fruit.
It's not Spanish fruit. It's not Spanish soil. It's not Spanish growing time. It's their vines, the ages that they have on that compared to what we have here. I go, it's my rendition of what, if they had everything we had here, this is how the Tempranillo would taste like.
It's kind of like, if there's no difference, if you say this doesn't taste like a Spanish Tempranillo, it's kind of like it also doesn't taste like a California Cabernet Sauvignon because it's 2 completely different. Yeah, I mean, the grape is the same, but the terroir is different, and that means the fruit's going to be different.
Absolutely.
What would you pair this one with?
Now that's a good one. I would always say anything off the barbecue, for sure. With that, I don't know. Paella for sure, right? We're talking about Spain. We're still going to stick with that. I would still do just lamb, but like a lamb chop, as opposed to where we're talking about gyros and everything else like that. Anything that's yeah, I would say like barbecue chicken, more leaner meats. It has nice tannins on it. It's not big tannins. So people always think of, when they're thinking of meat, leave that for a cab or, something else with bigger tannins.
Yeah, this has got such good mouthfeel. This is fantastic. By the way, $72 at the winery for this. Your tasting room is in Fremont, so all my Seattle friends that listen to this podcast, head down to Fremont, and those of you who don't drink wine, either A, try this wine, or B, leave your wine drinkers to have the wine here at Mansion Creek, and you can go have beer at some of the boutique microbreweries that are everywhere in Fremont.
No, we offer, Phil, we offer beer at the tasting room.
There
I don't want them to leave. I don't want them to leave.
Now, see, that's just smart business.
Yeah.
And he's wearing his Kraken hat, although the Kraken have really sucked lately. And that's kind of, they got to stop doing that. Don't get you started.
No, hey, it's just like the Seahawks. I was a Seahawk fan for my whole life, and it took a long time, but they finally did it, and they did it again just recently, which is beautiful. I always support. I'm always going to support the local guys.
Not the Sonics, though.
So don't get me started on how they took my Sonics away.
Clay Bennett, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
Wine word of the week.
Although, okay, let's do the wine word of the week. Solera.
It's literally like wine cellars. Wine word of the week. That's a lot.
It is.
The process of aging and blending wine, where younger wines are systematically mixed into older vintages to create a consistent, complex final product. Probably non-vintage.
Probably non-vintage. That's Solera.
Well, as long as it's not more than 5%, you can still do that with wine.
That's
true. Expand on that.
Yeah. So let's say you had, we're just going to say a 2020, you want to bottle your 2020 and you have a 2021 that's also in barrel. You can put some freshness into your wine to do that. Now, you're right. If you go beyond that 5%, then you end up getting a tri-line where it's a non-vintage.
Right, because the least amount was 7% on this. Now, if this had been, actually, it is 5. Cabernet Sauvignon. So you,
it was because of the Touriga. Touriga is what through. Once we had that, I knew it was going to be a non-vintage. But at the end of the day, is I always tell people, does the year really matter? Are you enjoying the wine? If you're enjoying the wine, just enjoy the wine.
Exactly. The reason we chose the Liberty Lake Wine Cellars wine word of the week is that on the 23rd, which is a week from Monday, down at Seasons of Coeur d'Alene, they are having a wine dinner. Easy for me to say, a dinner. A wine dinner featuring Liberty Lake Wine Cellars, a 5-course dinner. As of this recording, tickets are still available, $100 a piece, all in. Wanted to throw that out there because we'd love to see that room full. And I know that we should have asked this question early on in this episode, but I would like you to just let us know a little bit about the story, because your mom is a big influence on this whole brand. How Mansion Creek even came to be. Well, it's
yeah, no, it's a great question. I'll just So earlier I did talk about my mom and her just being a whirlwind of energy. She's somebody, she is, she's absolutely wonderful, so heartfelt. She gives her energy to everything she does. But she also likes being the center of attention. And she loved wine, and she was so good at she would go in before she ever did this, would go into other wineries and give her opinions. And winemakers would really, but not just, hey, they would actually listen. And so in 2007, they started this, Mom. And so she had a tasting room in downtown Walla Walla, and then just kept on doing this. But my parents are retired, and I want my parents. They go back to Spain every year, twice a year. But owning a winery, it's hard to go back when you own a winery as much. And I wanted my parents to really enjoy. They earned their retirement, and so my wife and I, with her blessing, said, "Hey, we'll take this over," and we did this in 2017. So if you look on the front label, you'll see the house. So that's a silhouette of their house.
Nice.
They actually do, and not to sound pretentious, they back in the 1990s they bought an old, dilapidated mansion, literally, and they spent the next 15 years renovating it, driving from the west side to the east side on the weekends after working all week at the physical therapy practice and renovating this. And so it was, mom would always call it the mansion. And it's on 2.5 acres. And on the backside of the mansion is a creek. So that is where you get Mansion Creek Cellars.
And it all comes full circle why they started physical therapy, knowing their son Denny was a rugby player.
And there it is. And that is the magic.
And a little light bulb just comes right on. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Shelley, because your voice is going, I'm going to go ahead and say some of the wines that we may or may not have enjoyed this week. We did. You're going to have to say the first one, the
Cuvaison.
Cuvaison. The Window Chardonnay, Aldiano Chardonnay, the 2011 Bodegas Escudero Arvum Roija. Well, I didn't even go there when he said that last time.
You didn't.
And the La Riojana Torrontes. We did a little Spanish wines this week. That was kind of nice. Usually, you can get fantastic Spanish wines and not break the bank, which is fantastic. We love that. I also wanted to say some things coming up. March 24th, we are on the 20th, so 4 days from today, International Viognier Day. And that's it for March. And we have the 14th of April is International Tannat Day. Big Tannat fans. 17th, World Malbec Day. The 24th is
International. Again?
No. It's actually in March. I made a mistake. See, every show notes has one minimum mistake. What to expect next week? Debbie Hansen with Cougar Crest Winery to wrap up this first Washington Wine Month. Today's Washington State Wine Month. You had mentioned your mom was more of a
negociant.
A negociant. That word is not used often in the States. Is that right? It's mostly a European term. I mean, we have those here. They're just generally not used.
That's correct. I mean, but if you're a lot of times when I'm talking with people that the buyer of barrels, the buyer of wine, it throws confusion. But a lot of people, they like just hearing the word negociant to say that, and then I'm able to briefly explain what that's in reference to, and I let them know that she did this, but it's not like this is not a practice that's not done by a lot of others, especially as you're trying to start up a winery and you don't have, the fiduciary funds, for those first 3 years, you buy juice, you find the right juice that represents you, you label it, and then you sell that knowing that that's what you're going to work towards you're hoping in terms of your winemaking.
Obviously, you're pretty picky about the juice that you're buying. You're going to buy the juice from a trusted wholesaler, essentially, right? Someone that knows what they're doing during crush and all of that stuff. It's pretty critical. So yeah.
Mom would walk into some of these winemakers' barrel rooms, and she would basically tell she was grabbing.
You're not.
And I'm not going to tell you to which ones that was, but those of you that are out there, they know.
I love that. Well, this has been a true treat. And by the way, this Tempranillo was never tight when we poured, and it's really, it wasn't tight, and it's already even still rounded out much more. It's opened up. So this is fantastic. Yeah, go down, visit Denny down at Mansion Creek in Fremont, and let him know that you heard this on Wine Time Fridays. And Shelley and Phil were so enamored by it that we had to come and do this. So, Denny, thank you so much for coming on, being a guest, and producing fantastic wines and
educated.
Yeah, that's so good. Love that.
And thank Tina for letting you share some time with us.
No, most definitely, guys. At the end of the day, thank you. Like you guys said, you've never heard of me. I'm a small producer. I always say that you can have the best story out there, but if nobody reads it, it's never the best story. So you're given the opportunity to a small business winery such as myself, and I am truly grateful for that.
We appreciate that. It's something we enjoy doing, is promoting all facets, and this has been a lot of fun. So with a little bit of knowledge, wine becomes a lot less overwhelming. And we had a lot of knowledge today. Denny, thank you again. Thanks to our sponsors. You have to say that. CDA Gourmet and Revora. Get those tickets down at the Seasons Wine Dinner. And we'll see you next week with Debbie Hansen.
Thank you for spending part of your day to wind down with Shelley and Phil. Remember, you can listen to any episode of the Wine Time Fridays podcast by visiting winetimefridays.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And join us on our Wine Time Fridays Facebook page, Instagram, or on Twitter, which is @VintageTweets, for daily conversation. Until next week, here's our toast to you: to health, wealth, abundance, gratitude, peace on earth, and of course, romance.